Okay, we should be recording and live streaming now. First item on the agenda, if we can do a roll call.
Jaime Quesada, present.
Thank you.
Angela Parr McNeely, present.
Mr. Davis? Mr. Davis is present through phone. And Madam President Gonzalez.
Hi there, everybody. Good morning. My apologies for the delay.
That's all right. Please let the record show that all four active members are present today. And then we are on the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. It's weird. And then if Ms. Cabral, can you please pull up the agenda and last month's minutes? So this was sent to everybody in the board packet, and Ms. Cabral has it up on the screen right now. We'll take a second to look over it if you haven't done so already, and then we can entertain a motion to approve last month's minutes.
Right to be here,
Right here. Yeah.
so they can hear that.
Mhm.
I'll make the motion to accept the agenda and the minutes from last meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Quesada, for that first.
I second it.
Thank you, Ms. McNeely, for the second. Ms. Gonzalez?
All right, folks. So what we want to cover this morning is the
Oh, wait,
PEC.
hold on, Ms. Gonzalez. I was gonna do the motion heard.
Oh,
carried
yes.
unanimous.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, guys. Seen, motion heard. Sorry.
No opposition, motion
No
carries.
opposition, motion carried. Sorry, I'm in my other meeting mode.
That's all right. And
I don't
then
have to do this normally on my other meetings. All right.
we do have the next agenda item is the open forum. There is nobody waiting in the school lobby right now, we verified, and there's nobody waiting in the Zoom lobby either. So we can move on to Ms. Gonzalez, number 4.
Okay, everybody. So with the discussion and possible action on the PEC Indicators of Success Grant Survey. So as a board, every board in New Mexico is required to submit one survey on behalf of the entire board. So the survey is opening up August 1st. They are going to have a session on the 30th. So I'll send that information out to Matt. So we could actually join if we'd like to get some information on this survey. So PEC is starting a program. So it's an initiative for governing boards. So we want to basically look at the framework and see if there's an area of opportunity. So we really want to assess our team, our school, and see, how we can do things better. It's not punitive. And so we have the whole month of August to work on the survey and do submissions for indicators. So there's going to be 48 indicators of success. We'll reach a consensus of a rating 1 to 5 for each indicator based on our current board's practices. We'll submit one survey on behalf of the entire board, and we have that whole month to do it. So basically, it's our own self-assessment. So that'll be the important part. We're basically seeing how we're doing as a whole. And starting September 1st, we can apply as a board for up to $10,000 in support funding to support any improvement on the indicators that we receive a 1 to 4 rating. So if we're doing 5 in several categories, then we wouldn't submit for funds for those sections that we scored a 5 on, or that we've scored ourselves a 5 on. But if we score anything from 1 to 4, we can actually submit for improvement monies to help improve those particular categories or category in the application. So, with that, that's going to be important work that we do as a board in conjunction with the outcomes for schools. So it's a statewide survey, and it basically wants to understand where we are strength-wise as a board, and areas that we can grow as a board as well as a school for all the schools in the charter school division. So the training, the support call, it's just an information session. It's going to be July 30th at 5 p.m. I know that makes it in a couple of days in the evening, but I think it would be helpful to join. So I will be joining, and I'll send this information over to Matt to make sure that, or to Priscilla so she can get it out to all of us. And the survey questions, and we'll send those out as well. Examples of the survey questions is like number 1 is the leadership has the respect and or the trust of the staff. We would vote ourselves and rank ourselves on 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. Another example is the governing board focuses on vision and strategic leadership rather than the day-to-day decisions. So they're really, I would say, thought-provoking questions, but they're very easy. I think for our board, this will be a nice activity because we want to make sure that, we feel comfortable as a whole on what we're looking at and what we want to focus on. So I'll have Priscilla send that out, but wanted to share that with the group because it's a great opportunity for us to get some additional funding that we could use to enhance the school in addition to what we've got going on with, the different changes that we have coming within the school and with our movement, especially with, everything that's gone on over the last year. This is a really prime time for us to do some really excellent work. And I think we've got a great board. I do want to say, I think we have one of the best boards. That's just me saying these things. But truly it's, we're making some changes and we really value our leadership team, but we also hold our leadership team accountable, and we hold each other accountable to making the best decisions for our students, right? Because that's exactly why we're here. So just wanted to make sure that everybody's aware of that. We'll send that out, here shortly. We'll have Priscilla send that information out. And I really do encourage everybody as a board to jump on the call on the 30th in 2 days. So that's Thursday at 5 p.m. Just informational session on it, and just feedback would be great so that we can hopefully get some funding for the school to really, just drive it even stronger and make Sendero, a big powerhouse in the state.
Great information. Thank you so much. I like it.
Second, I wanted to discuss the discussion on the change of time for the governance meeting. That is something we will have to vote on. I apologize, but my work life is a little wild these days, as you can see. I think, being on the board, we made it. It's been a couple years now that we've made it at 10 o'clock, and that worked for a good while for most of us. But I think the proposal would be to have the board meeting moved to after 5 p.m. just because of work constraints. I know, I believe Angela and even Jaime, I think we all have some things going on in the daytime. So prior to our 10 o'clock meetings, we used to have them, I believe, at like 5:30, 5:45. So wanted to see if that is something that, we can discuss as a group, just to see if that would work for everybody. So we can continue to have a strong board, strong presence, and not have to reschedule these important meetings, monthly.
Will these meetings be in person or still through Zoom?
They can still be participated on the same way, so Zoom
Okay.
or in person.
Okay.
Zoom or in person. I mean, and even if we want to have it toward the, maybe 4 o'clock or something like that, it's just, it's extremely challenging for me to do it in the morning. I work in healthcare and it's a little wild.
So we have between 4 and 5, would it be possible for the committee to maybe meet in the middle at 4:30?
That would be fine with me.
I'm up
mean,
for
I
that.
would-
That's
yeah,
not bad.
Ms. Gonzalez, how does 4:30 work for you?
That sounds good. That's good. I mean, I want to respect the board because, I'm not the only person, on this boat. So I want to make sure that, both Angela and Jaime are able to join and it doesn't interfere with their life. I can always adjust, just the mornings are incredibly hard for me. Anytime
Okay.
before 2:30 is a little rough for me.
Mr. Davis, how would the proposed time of moving our monthly GC meeting to 4:30 be for you? Mr. Davis? I can hear you now.
That's not a problem.
Okay,
Whatever you feel, okay, it's not a problem.
okay. So if everybody's good with 4:30, I think at this time we can entertain a motion to approve the meeting, and we will have to update and approve the OMA, our annual resolution for OMA as well at this time.
Okay.
What day will it be? Probably what day will it be?
It'll be the same day.
Wednesday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Wednesday at 4:30, okay.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to move the meeting to Wednesdays at 4:30.
Thank you, Ms. McNeely.
I'll second it.
Mr. Davis beat you by just a little bit. Thank you both for the second, though.
All right. Motion seen, no opposition, motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that.
Motion carries unanimously.
Oh, yes, motion carried unanimously.
Thank you guys for that. I think it'll be better to have it after school, not conflicting with your guys' work schedule and our daily schedule of running the school building. So I appreciate your guys' flexibility around this matter. We can go ahead and move on to Ms. Cabral for discussion and or action on fiscal items.
Right. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and start with, of course, our budget spreadsheet, our budget dashboard. So this is again for our fiscal year ending on June 30th. I do feel, if you'll see all these charts, that we did very well in the spend down of our grant funds. You'll see that green line there is mostly, hitting all of the allocations that we were awarded for the year. You'll see a little further down the remaining percent of budget. There are a few that I had marked in yellow to just identify those as carryover funds. So those are including like our activity funds in funds 23,000. You'll see our construction fund here is showing a negative. The reason for that is our construction pathway did work with some schools in the area to build some lemonade stands, specifically elementary schools. So we did receive that check yesterday, and you'll see that revenue reflected in the budget reports for July, showing that that balance will be positive again. You'll see these in red are some grant funds that were at 25% or more of unspent funds, specifically in our Title I, our Idea B, and our Title II. These are funds that we hadn't utilized specifically for supplies and materials in Title I. In Idea B, we had a little bit unspent there. We had it mostly encumbered in salaries and benefits that we did not utilize fully. And then our Title II, we had some disapproved RFRs because we were not allowed to use, that funding for travel or reimbursements related to CTE. It was more of like a general ed type of travel or PD that we were supposed to use that for.
So Priscilla, for that one, are we gonna have a finding because it wasn't used in the right manner? For those funds that they weren't used for CRC?
I don't anticipate that being an actual audit finding. We've
Okay.
had RFRs disapproved in the past.
Okay.
And it's just at, the discretion of PD and the applications that were submitted for those funds specifically. I have made all the journal entries for those RFRs that were disapproved, so they will not show up as expenditures within that specific fund.
Okay.
All right. And then this is just that summary data that feeds into those graphs. And again, these are conditional formatted to show green in the allocations where we've spent down, I believe it was under 50% or at 50% or more. So you'll see a few of those in there that directly relate to the bar graphs in the previous section.
And then let me ask you a question on that previous slide. On our Medicaid instruction, excuse me, not on go back to the one with all of the actual hard numbers. So on our Medicaid, on that line item, the 2515153, where we're at 93%, and then also on the instructional material, we're at 100%. So that's telling us we have not spent allocated monies, right, that have been given to us.
Right, and these are both carryover funds, and you'll see that they're marked in yellow here. So here's Medicaid, and then 27109 here is also a yellow. So those are carryover. We're able to get those encumbered this year and utilize that spend down for fiscal year 27.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Right, moving on to our function dashboard. To remain in compliance, you'll see that none of our functions are over budget or overspent. So that's perfect for this time of year. All of the cleanup happened before that 6:30 deadline, and we are looking pretty good in at the function level for fiscal year 26. We'll go ahead and move on to our revenue and pending RFRs. So June revenue is coming in at $533,039. You'll see that a lot of these are the the actual end of year RFRs for Title I, CSI, our operational SEG is in there. It did come in a little late, and that's historically pretty normal for our SEG payments in June and July. July, I believe we received last week, towards the end of the week, and you'll see that reflected in next month's reporting as well. And if you look over here to the right, you'll see our pending RFRs, and these are allocations that did expire at 6/30/2026. And so these are our student nutrition meal claim, the title funds that RFRs have been submitted. We just have not received them in our bank account, and then our lease assistance, as well as this very large one. If you'll remember, our Next Gen CTE Special Award was received later in the year, but we were able to get that completely spent down. So that's the reason for that large number there, that $176,000 RFR that had been submitted. So in total, RFRs pending are about $417,000.
That looks really good.
Right, so moving on to our expenditures for June 2026. again, closing out the year, all of our POs, the final the extra summer payroll for our instructional staff is also included in this. So we are totaling 639,447. And again, this is typical for end of year expenses, to include the salaries, the benefits for that extra pay period. Moving on to our bars. These are the final bars that were sent in and processed for fiscal year 26. So again, a lot of that was cleanup that you saw in our function dashboard to make sure we were in compliance with all those functions, not over budget. And a lot of these are increases specifically for revenue. So when we are trying to reconcile not only our expenses, but also the revenue received. So, for example, this one it's a small bar, $20, but we did receive student fees for like laptop chargers that were lost, or Yonder pouches, for example, that had a fee associated to them. And then again, these three specifically were adjustments for the extra summer pay for our instructional staff. So beginning 7/1/2026, we were mandated to adjust from our insurance premiums going to an 80-20 split, where we are picking up 80% of that and then 20% onto the employee. So a few of those benefit lines were over budget, and you'll see that these three are maintenance bars, specifically related to that adjustment in the health premiums. I can answer any questions about the budget reports as presented if there are any. If not, I can go ahead and move on to our action items.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to say that I know we've said this a couple of times, but man, these reports are getting cleaner and cleaner, Priscilla. Like it's really, really clear. It's very, very visually clear of where we're at, where we're spend. And it's from where we started, from where I was at when I started on the board. This is really helpful. And really clean. So I just appreciate the work that you put into this, because I know it is not an easy feat, but we're looking really, really great right now. So kudos.
Thank you.
And I'll second that.
Thank you all. All right, so our first action item, this is a document that is required for our annual audit, which is our annual inventory certification. A few years ago, we partnered with RCI, which is a company that comes out each year to process all the inventory in the building. They initially came in, tagged everything, and our teachers prepare by tagging their personal items so that they're not included with our inventory, which does feed into our balance sheet when we are going through audit. So this is just certifying that physical inventory was completed by RCI, and then the property and equipment above that $5,000 threshold, labeled as supply assets, or I'm sorry, capital assets, are going to be included in that spreadsheet to calculate depreciation and all of that is required of the audit. So they did come out, I want to say it was the week of May 18th to complete that. Once it's all completed, it is updated in the software provided by RCI, and that has all been configured on our end to match the inventory that was completed by them in May. Right, and our second action item, and this directly relates to fiscal year 27. This is the Department of Finance and Administration per diem rates. You'll see that there was no change from last fiscal year. So all of the reimbursements and actuals for the year in that reimbursement travel form that we have will not change. It is still $70 per 24-hour period. So we will continue using that form to calculate any travel reimbursements that are going to staff. On another note, mileage rates are implemented in January. Those are on a calendar year update. And once the IRS publishes those rates, we will go ahead and submit that for approval by the board as well. All right, any questions on action items, budget as presented?
No, ma'am.
All right. That is all for fiscal.
Do we need to make a motion for those 2 action items, Priscilla?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so at this time, can we entertain a motion to approve, the action items as presented by Ms. Cabral?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Casada.
I'll second it.
Thank you for the second, Ms. McNeely.
Seen? No opposition? Motion carried unanimously.
Nice.
Did it. I'm on point now.
My turn. All right, superintendent's report and action items. So we're gonna start off, we usually always start off with enrollment. Feel like we're in a pretty good spot right now. We are early in the school year. We're currently sitting at 192 students enrolled. Spread out pretty as expected. We have 60 classified freshmen, 60 classified sophomores, 45 classified 11th graders, and 32 classified 12th graders. We have had 37 new students enrolled since we started enrollment in July, and 11 of those have been true freshmen. We usually don't, this is a good spot for us to be right now. Historically, we've seen our enrollment kick usually those first couple weeks after the district has started. And this is the district's first week. So we're getting closer to our 40-day projected number, and the district hasn't started yet. So as long as we keep continuing at the current pace we're at, we'll meet or exceed our goal by 40th day, which is always a top priority for the beginning of the year.
So Matt, one of the concerns that I have is ensuring our graduation rate. I know that we have to continue focusing on graduation rate and getting those seniors to cross that finish line. So I think what I'd like to see for the remainder of the school year, since we just started and we've got our eye on it. I know it's tricky to do the calculation on grad rate because of the way we inherit students and how they're credited to other schools. I know it's super tricky.
It is tricky, Ms. Gonzalez, but that is part of I'll do the MRI application update, but that is also going to be a requirement for our MRI application because that is all structured around grad rate. So we are working on developing a system to accommodate SAUs, supplemental accountability units. And those are the pieces that do make it difficult, but we're in the initial phases of developing a spreadsheet so that we can track that number throughout the year.
Okay.
And so that it'll also include more than just our H4 cohort. It'll include H1s, 2s, and 3s as well. So that we're not focused on those students during their H4 year, so that we ensure that they remain on track during their H1, 2, and 3 years. So it doesn't to prevent them from becoming mathematically impossible to meet graduation requirements at their senior year. We have several new policies several new procedures that are going to be going into the MRI application that create systems here at the school for targeted interventions and credit recovery for underclassmen as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I just think it'd be really good for us as a board to know that ballpark number 32. We start with 32. Hopefully we end with more than 32, right? Because we acquire students as they come in. But I think if we're starting with 32, the goal at the finish line is those 32, right? So knowing what those numbers are, I think is just important for us as a board, because that is something that we're very committed to getting those kids through that finish line. So if we could just add that, you know, every month to our meeting, maybe we just do a spreadsheet of just, you know, what's our August goal was 32. September, what's our actual, right? Like, because then maybe, I mean, in that spirit of accountability, we're thumbing that as a board as well. Y'all know I'm a visual and a number kind of gal, so.
Yes,
And the
we can
more
definitely do that.
data and proof we give, especially for us as a board to be aware of it and challenge, you know, our school super, we want to just make sure that we set Matt up to knock it out of the park this year.
So, yes, I think that's great. That'll be a great thing we can build a visual for that E. And it can be a running agenda item,
Yeah.
under the MRI application update, but instead of just giving you guys the numbers
Verbal.
verbally,
Yeah.
we'll build something so that you guys can see visual and growth over time.
Yeah,
And
I think that'd be fantastic.
Yep, so right now E is labeled MRI application update because we're still in the application phase of that, but going forward, it is going to be the MRI strategic plan update.
Okay.
Because that was part of the application for LEA guarantees and GC guarantees, is that the GC is aware and holding the school accountable to those MRI application requirements.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I have a question too. Can you remind me what the enrollment goal was? Did I miss you saying that? I heard you say you had a goal, but I didn't hear the number. Do you have?
So you
Sorry.
have the 40-day projected number for us?
I believe it was 217.
I thought it was
That was
something.
included
Okay.
in our 910B5, which generates our SEG for the year.
Okay. I just wanted to have it fresh in my head as we were talking. Thank you.
Yep.
So maybe we do the same
Oh, good
thing, you
question.
think, Angela, is request the grad rate, but also our enrollment month over
Goal.
month? Yeah.
I mean,
Goal
it's
versus
nice.
actuals, right?
It's nice to see, and yeah, definitely.
And then that way we know if we take a dip, where are we taking the dip? Are we taking a dip by a particular grade? Are we taking a dip? Are we increasing? And maybe who are we increasing? Is it sophomores? Is it seniors increasing? Because then that way we can look for trends.
Perfect. I like it.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, I know we pushed this meeting a little bit, but I still think it's important to cover the welcome back week update. So now we've had our welcome back week with both staff and students. The initial welcome back week, I think, was really positive. A lot of high energy. The staff came back, felt like very rested, excited to dig into a lot of the work. Staff had 3 days of professional development with PBL Works. Kristen in specific has been our main professional development provider for PBL for this will be her second year with us. And she was on site for 3 full days doing professional development with staff around project-based learning and really hitting on what those gold standards are. I'll let Dr. Parker dive into the professional development a little bit more. I wanted to give you guys an update on my welcome back week. Included a day in Taos. So I had to head up to Taos on Wednesday afternoon and present with and alongside the LESC and PED, specifically the College and Career Readiness Bureau, on a funding bill that I've been working on with the Legislative Education Study Committee. And we are presenting a long-term sustainable funding bill for career technical education. The presentation went very well. The Sendero got a couple good shout outs during the meeting, which was recorded and publicized. And I've also been invited by the senator sponsoring this bill to help them present and push it through the 60-day legislative session. So it's a really positive thing because part of the, again, going back, part of the MRI application is we're focused on career technical education, project-based learning and work-based learning. And this is a long-term solution for sustainable funding for those so that we don't have to rely on grant funding year over year. And I will let Dr. Parker talk about the first week with staff and students.
Good morning, board members. I'll keep it short and sweet and can provide some more detailed updates when we create this MRI strategic plan on item E. That way it kind of breaks down what's been changing, what's been going on with each of those areas within the MRI application. Just so you know, been cracking the whip around here, making some changes, but it's all good. Everybody's really moving along. Leslie's teasing that she's having a hard time keeping up with me, but not even my husband can keep up with me, so they're working on it. But it's all going really well, putting a lot of procedures and policies in place and a lot of things with professional development, PLCs. We're meeting this week with the CTE PLCs as well as individually with teachers to make sure their grade books are aligned with our professional development with the project-based learning. There's just a lot of stuff happening. So we'd love to break it down for you just at a high level, but also semi-detailed in that MRI at the next board meeting. Just know that it's very positive energy around here and people are moving and shaking.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Anybody have any questions around the item B, the welcome back update?
No, I think it was a good idea to have no board meeting that week, just because it gives you time to focus on the students and the, coming back. So I think if next year that should happen again, we should do the same thing, because that was very helpful, I think, to the school.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for your flexibility in that matter. On to 26, 27 personnel. We have had some personnel changes at the school, just to update you guys. We moved a previous ELA teacher that we had into a special education role. That individual completed their master's degree in special education and showed an interest in the open position we had for special education case manager. So she will be there, which means we did hire a new ELA teacher, Rose Palacio. We were also able to hire an ag teacher who will also be doing science, since we had our science teacher resign over the summer and take another job opportunity with LCPS. We were also able, our custodian did submit a letter of resignation in the last couple weeks, and we were able to fill that position with somebody I think will be very strong. And she's already stepped in, and the building is looking very good. It's nice and clean, very presentable, and really trying to take as much pride as we can in the facility that we have. We are also still actively searching for a qualified security guard. We have at least one applicant that I believe would be a good fit for the school, and we're going to be hosting interviews for him in the next week.
Nice.
Any questions around personnel for the school year?
No.
Quick question related to the security.
Yes.
How long was that posted? Just out of curiosity.
It's been posted for a month, Priscilla, roughly a month.
Yes, correct.
Yep. It still is an active posting as we talk.
Okay.
Is there somebody you know might be interested, Mr. Casada?
There's a couple of people that I can at least reach out to and let them know, because I know I've had some calls just from the past law enforcement background who've been asking
Awesome.
about good stuff.
That would be amazing, especially like if we can get somebody that has prior law enforcement experience, that would be awesome.
And when does it close?
It is until it's filled.
Okay. That'll work. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. D's a pretty quick one this time, but I do want to thank each and every one of you. Everybody did successfully complete all their board training hours last school year. So as you know, that clock resets every year. So everybody's back to 0 hours completed right now. We do still have the Canvas courses available. At this time, the only in-person option I know of is the PCS&M Charter Conference. that some of you attended last year. But as more of those conference days are set, and if there are hours available for you guys to earn, I will pass on that information to all of you if you prefer an in-person option over the Canvas courses. Then the MRI application update. So this one is one of our bigger ones. This is going to be a standing agenda item in the superintendent's report. We will update it. It won't be an application update anymore. It'll be our strategic plan going forward. I do have good news on this. Last night I logged into OBMS, which is where this application was submitted. And I have seen that as of last night, we received full approval for our school narrative, our LEA narrative, and our budget for this piece. This application and the work along with it does come with an additional $200,000 in grant funding that we were able to secure. A large portion of that grant funding is going to our students, directly to our students through paid internships. We have seen that's one of our root causes that we did through our comprehensive local needs assessment for this application, was that we're losing a lot of student engagement because they're having to work jobs, low-level jobs to help support their family. So this provides us with an opportunity to pay these students while they're learning valuable skills in a high-wage, high-demand career field, not just a job field. So we would like to continue that. Part of the work I was doing with the LESC last week was to come up with long-term solutions to sustain this funding, which directly aligns with the work and my roles and responsibilities in the MRI application. The school, there was 20 questions in the LEA application piece, but there was 265 questions and systems that needed to be redesigned for the school level. Now that we do have full approval, I will begin working on, I'm calling it a one-pager, but it's gonna end up being more than a one-pager because of the length of the application. But to give you guys the high-level view and the top priorities of the systems and the changes we're making to meet our MRI application compliance piece. And those updates will be presented to you guys along with expenditures from this specific fund 24,170, and that will be presented to you guys monthly as well. Do you guys have any questions on the MRI application update?
I have no questions.
I have no questions, but I do appreciate the hard work that you put into that, Matt. I know it was not an easy feat, and congratulations on the award for the school. We really look forward to the engagement. I also wanted to let you know, I recently spoke to the owner of Auto Doctors, which is around the corner from the school. It's a local auto shop. I actually took my son's car there because I do know one of the mechanics. And I didn't realize that was one of the places where we have job placement for our Sendero students. And they just complimented the school. They complimented the students. They said that they're hoping to have a couple more this year. And so that to me was like, I wasn't even ready for that cherry. But it was really cool to hear that, just to know that someone we trust with our vehicles has our students working there. And they said that they were very professional. The kids were very engaged. So I just wanted to let the board know that, people know about our school. People know about our students in a good way. So to me, it was just a really proud moment that I wasn't expecting, to know that not only is our school doing what it should be doing and saying what it's doing, but our kids are getting a good reputation in town as being hard workers and just, good citizens that we want them to be, and participants in the community. So just great job.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad to hear that it's nice to hear it from an outside source that they're being successful.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Okay. There are no further questions. At this time, we can adjourn, and we will see you guys at 4:30 next month.
4:30 next month. Have a great week, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
You too.
Same to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Right. Thank you.
New student can go.
Yeah.
Give her a schedule. Is that kind of